Hello and welcome back to week three of Drupal X Resource. So in week three, we have our theme is reusability and reviews. We worked on this mainly, and it was a lot of code restructure rather than having a major changes on front end. Now on front end, we just had one change. Let me quickly go through that. So now here we can see these models that are there. This preview that is being generated, the generated output, the name, description, content, and we have the lines mentioned. We have the copy.yaml, all these fields. It is the same thing on another page where I have generated a recipe. Same copy button, same format, same line numbers. Everything is the same. So we have generated this preview, which is a reusable component using a .root file to get across that and to show you what it is. Apart from that, we also have created our own very own YAML previewer for what we have and what we do not have. Uh, and a small UI changes that is basically curving these lines. And I mean, go through that too. So our dashboard, yeah. So these lines are curved, which initially were not. That is it about that. The changes are that much. Other are code structuring changes. Let's dive deep into it. The first changes are the YAML changes. We created a new file in a utility called YAML processor.php. Now, where does this lie in the overall structure? So let's say we have Gemini. From Gemini, we get a response. From that response, we get a utility. That goes to this utility file. And from that utility, it goes to the YAML processor file. Now, what this helps? This YAML processor use something called serialization. Serialization under the hood has Symfony YAML component for parsing and encoding YAML in Drupal. Symfony is essentially useful as it helps us to decode the YAML files. Now let's just go about it. Let's just see what extract and parse does. We first parse the code. We use YAML to decode it, and if it is not YAML, we continue with the extraction. So now what do we do? First, we'll see if we can extract from the Markdown code blocks. If it has given in the Markdown code blocks, which I have mentioned in my Markdown paradox that you can see. If you want to read more about Markdown paradox, you can just go here. Let's say week three tracker. In week three tracker, we are going to open this link. You can just this link. This will give us the Markdown paradox. Now, it is a really interesting article. What exactly happens? What is wrong? What is right? I have done a detailed research. So basically, we can come across when models generate YAML inside a YAML code block. They preserve the indentation and hierarchical structure. But when they are forced to generate raw text, many models lose structural guidance and flatten arrays and indentation. So to get over this, we have created these files. It overcomes this regex and it pattern matches and decodes the entire YAML properly. And for the lines, we saw the line numbers were there. We have also used a bit of JS for that, and that is available. That brings us to templates. So now, what is interesting about this file? This is a .html.quick extension, which is useful for creating templates. Now, this is a template for a YAML preview with component line numbers. These line numbers are generated on the go based on how many code lines are there. Like you can see, HTML line numbers. These are generations for the line numbers. But you would say, hey, Rishikesh, this is complicated and this is really tedious to make. Trust me, it is tedious, but it is highly effective and highly useful. You can have this component for a number of pages wherever I want to use. That is the beauty of it. Yes, it is tedious, but it is also beautiful. So we have explored the structural changes, YAML parsing, and we have explored the templates format. Now, we could go to something called the arena services or PHP, or rather forms. Now, in forms, earlier we just took everything from the arena service, this one. Now we have also started using the recipe generation service. Now, what exactly did we replace? Let me show you. So, yeah, let's say we had this component where we used to select the model, and then we used sorry the provider, and then we used to select the model. Even this test UI had another AI provider, and it had a model. For both of these cases, I had written separate codes. So let's say if I made some changes here, I had to make again changes in another code base for this file. which was not exactly really convenient. So I combined both of the codes, and everything is being extracted from AI recipe generation service, which is this file. And as you can see, generate recipes. Okay, we have, yeah, get provider options and get model options for providers. Everything uses the same damn thing. Now, if you see, providers, yeah, recipe generation service, get provider recipes. Everything is being extracted from this itself. Reusability and is a beautiful part of code that we can do, and this is extremely important to us. Moving on to the later sections of what changes we made, let us come to cspl.json. In cspl.json, these are essentially some keywords. Now, let me tell you what cspl.json does in the first place. It spans through an entire code base. It will pick up some words which do not match anything or are not standard code practices. It will flag them. Okay, these are some issues. These are some issues, words that need to be addressed. They are not correct. So instead, we can have this dictionary here, which where we can add words directly. It is an npm library that or module that we use CSPL, and these words are kind of a dot gated word that we ignore these words. Even if they are flagged, we ignore them. Like Rishikesh Dalal, that's my name. This can be found in license. It even scans your license. Yeah, you can see my name is here. So it will scan through all these things and flag those words. Now, why was this essential? Is because we had a commit history. Now we can see I finally fixed changes to my pipeline and it got to warning. Otherwise, all of these pipelines were just failing, failing, failing. This was not good. That is why this is essential while fixing the pipelines. We have also covered how to fix php.cs and PHP unit tests that we had encountered. It fixed all of these changes. This commit of mine is a pretty detailed one, and I had to do a lot of changes, like 17 changes, just to get tests properly run and fixing the pipeline. So this is why this is essential, and fixing the pipeline is important. As tomorrow some other committer comes, some other maintainer comes, and he or she is pushing some code, there should be some validity. That is why pipeline is essential. And yes, that would bring us to the end of week 3. Stay tuned for more and meet you next time.